All right, we're going backwards to Mode'ani. We finished the Amidah, and we're going backwards to Mode'ani. They say an amazing story about Rabbi Mendel Futerfas. Rabbi Mendel Futerfas, the iconic Chassid, who spent 8 years in Siberia, 16 years without seeing his family, until he eventually made it to the UK and to the US. He was born 1906 and passed away 1995. Rabbi Mendel was once sick, assuming towards the end of his life, and he was diagnosed with an advanced cancer. And the doctor said, "Please come talk to me." And they sat down and says, "Look, all the tests are not good. I calculate that you have 6 months to live, with some luck, 9 months." And Rabbi Mendel starts cracking up, laughing and laughing, cracking up. And the doctor says, "Dude, this guy, he went crazy. He's not taking the news very well." And he's like, "Rabbi Mendel, why are you laughing? This is serious stuff." He says, "All my life," says Rabbi Mendel, "I wake up in the morning, I say Mode'ani, and I thank Hashem for this new day He's giving me, and I am assuming is the last day of my life, and that's how I live it. And now you're telling me I have a guaranteed 6 months? I've never had that. That's why I'm laughing." And the doctor heard this, and now he started to cry. He says, "Wow, if I would have lived my life that way, how much would I have achieved? If you would have lived your life thinking today's the last day, today's my last chance, and not I have 10, 20, 40, 60, 80 years to live." Okay, this shiur has been blessed from beyond. This particular class that I printed out, I prepared in 2020 for a yortzeit. I was asked by a friend of mine to prepare a class for a yortzeit that he and his friends would be celebrating for another friend that passed away. A young guy who passed away very young in Venezuela, Avram Zalman Ben Tzvi. I think we're holding by like the 19th yortzeit, something like that. Right, I mean this year, but this was 2020. And he asked me to prepare a class, and I prepared this class. So we'll do this also in his name. But the interesting part is that I was looking for a class yesterday, what are we going to learn? And I found this, and I read his name, and I remembered the class. And when I come to shul yesterday afternoon, there's a whole bunch of guys here celebrating a yortzeit. Is this guy's yortzeit? Yesterday afternoon. So this is the right class to do now. Mode'ani. Yes? Mm-hmm. So as always, we'll start with the text. It's a very short text, 12 words, and we'll go from there. Mode'ani lefanecha, melech chai v'kayam, she'echezarta v'nishmati v'chemla rava emunatecha. I thankfully acknowledge you, living and enduring King, for you have compassionately restored my soul within me. Great is your faithfulness. This is what we say in the morning. Technically, you have to say this as soon as you wake up, while you're still in bed. Before you get up, before you look at your phone, before you see what's the news, what WhatsApp, how's the stock in Japan doing or whatever. Before you any of that, you say Mode'ani, and you acknowledge and you thank Hashem for the fact that He gave you a new day. And if you want to be like Rabbi Mendel Futerfas, you realize, I'm going to live this day as if it's my last day. Now, even though these are just 12 words, we could talk a lot about this, much more than what I brought, but we're going to explore 5 ideas. We're going to explore 5 ideas, starting with thankfulness. We're going to compare it, good morning, we're going to compare it to other parts of prayer. We're going to talk about acceptance. We're going to talk about kavana. And we're going to talk, David, you okay?
What a walk. My condo was all flooded.
Okay. You made it. We're gonna get you a car for next time. Okay. So you go to sleep, and when you go to sleep, before you go to sleep, you have to say Shema. Shema al-Hamitah, the Shema on bed, not literally on the bed, but right before bed. And you're supposed to do a cheshbon hanefesh. You're supposed to do an accounting of the soul and figure out what did you do well today, what did you not do well today, what opportunities you took advantage of, what opportunities you let fly by, what could you have done better. Analyze the last 24 hours, or really maybe the last 12. Depends how much hours you slept, 15 hours, whatever.
You say it at bedtime Shema even if you've already said it twice during the day?
Yes. The bedtime Shema is actually a whole prayer. If you look at the Siddur, it has the Shema, but it has other stuff, and then it has a bracha at the end, the blessing of Hamapil, which we might talk about in another class. But after a full day, you're tired, you give back your soul, or you give your soul to Hashem to take care of while you go to sleep, and Hashem gives it back refreshed and clean on the next day. Yeah. And the sages explain that when you sleep, your soul goes up and it starts telling the stories of the good stuff you did, the not so good stuff you did. Letting them know what you did during the day. And as we say, in your hands I put my soul, you have redeemed me, my God, meaning we're putting our soul in the hands of God during the night. The interesting part is that you have a debt. You owe some quote unquote money to Hashem. He gives you a lot, and you don't give him usually that much. You don't live up to your expectation. And you go to sleep, it's like you're giving a security for the loan to Hashem. Now, what does a creditor do when you owe him money? The money is due. It's not due in a year, it's due now. And you give him something as security, what is a normal creditor going to do?
No problem, I don't need the money. No, I'm just kidding, he's going to collect on it.
He's going to keep it.
Right.
He says, all right, I'm going to have to keep this because you owe me so much money. But Hashem doesn't keep it. He gives it a massage. He lets it take a nice shower. It's in a spa, and then comes back down refreshed. And I guess the debt goes up. No, that's what Hashem does. And so obviously when you wake up, and it's a new day, and it's a new opportunity, and your soul is back and it's refreshed, of course you have to start the day thanking Hashem. And if you were thinking like Rabbi Mendel Futerfas, that yesterday was your last day, and boom, you have another day. Oh, thank you, Hashem. Give me one more day. I want to do all I can today. And that is how Moide Ani fits.
6:30.
Perfect. Now I can, 10 minutes, perfect. Now, before we keep going into Moide Ani, I have a question. What does the law custom of not saying hello before Shacharit have to do with your big brother?
What's the law? not saying hello? What is that?
Yes.
What is that?
I'm asking the question.
I don't know what you're talking about, though.
I know. So there's a law that technically you have to be careful how you say hello to people before shacharit. Yeah, like usually in Hebrew you say like shalom aleichem. Says you shouldn't do that before shacharit. You can say hello in a different way, but not an official hello. What does that have to do with your big brother? And I know some of you might not have a big brother, but imagine you did or you are. Now it's super clear?
No, but go on.
That doesn't, where you don't say hello, you're saying applies if you haven't davened, shachris, regardless of what time it is. I mean, if you had a later one, and I thought it had something to do, was tied into the portion of the day that you had elapsed.
No, I mean, not technically it's the same. If you were being lazy and davening late, you still shouldn't say hello that way. You can say it in Spanish. Buenos dias.
Hola?
Hola.
No, I just got to learn the other 3 million words of.
Shalom aleichem, aleichem shalom, no.
Good morning is okay.
Morning good. No. Yes, the Shulchan Aruch says before davening shachris, you should not say hello using the word shalom. The important thing is you shouldn't demonstrate that your own things, that your own issues are more important than praying to Hashem in the morning. And the Baal Shem Tov says that in order to understand this halacha and not make it sound so weird and so disrespectful to people, he says it's the same as the halacha that says you have to respect your big brother. When it talks about big brother, it means literally the firstborn, not any big brother. Doesn't mean you have to disrespect the other brothers, but the older brother. There's a halacha that says that just like you have to respect your parents, kavet et avicha ve'et imecha, because it says et, it also includes your big brother. It says through the big brothers, through the firstborn, the vitality from the parents gets to the other brothers. That's what they explain.
So first thing in the morning, and the rabbi walks in and says, hello or good morning to you, how are you supposed to respond?
Shh.
Okay,
No. It says only if you use like shalom, shalom aleichem, things like that.
I see.
You can say good morning. And I guess in Israel it's harder because they just speak Hebrew. Here we have ways out by speaking in another language. And so just like this is the law with the brother, that you have to respect the big brother because from him the vitality comes to you from your parents. Says the vitality of the whole day goes through the first moments of the day, which is why the first moments of the day are Modeh Ani, Birkot HaShachar, learning some Torah, Chassidut, and going to daven, so that you have a good big brother who's going to give good stuff to the rest of the day. And then you can worry about whatever you have to worry about the rest of the day. You want your day to be receiving its food, its energy, its vitality from a good big brother. And so your first moments of the day should be the most elevated and focused only on absolutely godly things. Yeah? So even if this doesn't make you be more disrespectful towards people and not say hello, at least it can make you appreciate more the beginning of your day and not waste it in phones. I guess people, 20, 30 years ago and beyond were lucky that they didn't have phones. But some of them did have newspapers. And so even though you didn't have a phone, okay, you're going to go to your door and you have your newspaper there. I'm going to read the newspaper first in the morning. It's the same idea. A little bit less enticing than the phone. At least you wouldn't read the newspaper before saying Modeani. No? But that's it. So again, you can say hello, you just don't say hello with Shalom Aleichem that way. All right. Now, when I did this class back in 2020, I had just come back from a wedding in Panama. A friend of mine, he still lives in Panama, but you'll know his father and his brother, Jacoboni, Eli's son. Anyways, I had gone to his wedding, and on the plane, I was sitting next to another Jew from Boca, and whatever, he was with his son, and they were learning some Torah, and we got talking. We spoke some on the way, and he told me a nice idea that has to do with this, and has to do with the bracha of Moedim, which we learned a few weeks ago, maybe a couple of months ago. In Moedim, we're thanking Hashem. Again, keep in mind Moedim and Moedeani. This is the same word. In the bracha of Moedim, we're thanking Hashem, and then the Chazan says Moedim, and we all have to say Moedim de Rabbanan, right? When the Chazan is repeating the Amidah and it gets to Moedim, we have the little paragraph to the side that is another paragraph of Moedim, of being thankful. And the question is, why is there's no other bracha with that structure where the Chazan is repeating something and we're saying something else? That means something else related, but usually just answer Baruch Hu Baruch Shemo Amen, except for one bracha where he says a paragraph and we also say a paragraph that have a lot of the theme is basically the same. So why is like that? The Chazan in general, one of the reasons for there to be a leader that repeats the Amidah, it's so that if somebody didn't or is not able to say it himself, you fulfill your obligation to say the Amidah by listening to the Chazan's Amidah. And because the Amidah initially is quiet, because you're saying it the proper way, so you couldn't hear it. So you repeat it. That's the technical side of it. But you cannot outsource your thank you. Yes, I can outsource to the Chazan all the brachot. Ask, say, praise Hashem, and ask Hashem for money, and ask Hashem for refuah. But saying thank you, you cannot outsource that to the Chazan. So when you get there, you yourself have to say Moedim. And not to say the same Moedim, we say a different one, and everybody has to say it. Even if you did say the Amidah, of course, you also have to say the other Moedim. You cannot outsource a thank you. So the first message in the morning is Moedeani, is start your day with thankfulness. So this is setting the tone for the whole day. This is becoming the vitality for the whole day. Again, those seconds after you wake up can change your whole day. Not from the things you can't control, but from the things you can control. You started your day not on your right foot. Before you put your right foot down, you say Modeani.
When you get to here, during your recitation,
Yeah.
you say Modim here as well as later during the Chazan's repetition? You say it twice, or you just...
No, you say this. In your Amidah, you
Yeah.
say this. When the Chazan repeats, you say this. You don't say this.
Right, it's just the two different Modims.
They're different,
Mhm.
but related.
Okay.
And again, we spoke about the reasons or the themes and the connections between them. But we hadn't spoken about this because I honestly don't remember this conversation on the plane. I believe that I had it because I wrote it down, but I don't remember it. All right, so now we have some work to do tomorrow when we say Modiani properly, and we'll continue with Zat Hashem.